husband used to have a club that he brought Tina Turner, James Brown, and all those people into the club that he had. And they would go and sit in with different artists at my husband's club when they was just little. He would just play the keyboard until he make a sound that he liked, and then he would just play it over and over and over again.
TLC, Monica, Boyz II Men, Michael Jackson, Madonna, they got two things in common. They're superstars, and this producer here, Dallas.
Junior high, he started playing drums, but he still didn't need the music. He would just play it, make his own beats, and just go.
Dallas is like a tour de force. He's working with Christina Aguilera, and then he's working with TLC. And
he's someone that I really trust and admire to do all the things that he has done at such a young age.
Y'all were breaking the rules. Y'all changed how writing was set up.
It's not many times a day that you get the writer producing as one. I started because I thought that's how you did it. I didn't know any other way. I thought that Prince and Jimmy Jam and Taylor Wilson, L.A. and Babyface was writing all their stuff, which they were. You never know where you get inspiration from at any given time. How do you find your place, stand out? And the only way to do that is you gotta find some way to be great. You gotta wanna be great.
I got abducted. I'm in a spacecraft, the laboratory, somewhere in Atlanta with Dallas, not Dallas, Texas, Dallas, Austin. This is BackTrak, another special one, Candyman. Yes, world, we are live. Don Cannon. I wouldn't call this man an architect, a blueprint holder, an icon, a GOAT, which we use too much, a legend, which we use too much. Yesterday I sat with Warren G. I called him the regulator. He loved that part. You know what I'm saying? And it's some person that I looked up to my whole career based on chasing hits. You know, I came up underground. It was the first time I got a chance to see people writing and producing and executive at the same time. I felt like that was something special, and that's when the bell went off. Bing, you need to be that guy. And this guy's right in front of me. I'm not talking about Dallas, Texas. I'm talking about Dallas, Austin.
My guy.
My man. We've known each other for so long. So this is like a family affair, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And shout out to New York. I'm a Laker fan, but I put on my closest Knick thing for y'all, you know, for the people watching.
Wait, you a Laker fan?
Yeah, been a Laker fan.
Okay.
So my story is I was a Charles Barkley when I was young. And when he got traded to the Suns for the Sixers, I just disowned the Sixers. And I was like, yo, whoever's going to be coming up with me. So I played with like Kobe and all them guys. So I'm like, okay, whoever go to NBA, I'm going to root for them. Kobe went to the Lakers, I rooted for them.
Okay.
So that's the story. That's 96 until. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? I came down Atlanta, I couldn't get into the Hawks. You know what I mean? Y'all was so obnoxious down here with y'all sports, man. Bro. Yes, Falcon, just obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs, you know, David Justice.
Yep.
But we're here, and it's crazy because we started our conversation talking about aliens, you know what I'm saying? And I consider you and Pharrell one of those aliens. And Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying?
Lil Wayne.
But you know, as you can see, I mean, they can't see the whole spot, but it reminds me of a human spaceship. I don't know if you call this laboratory. I would call this the spaceship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I recognize a few things in here. The stand, this is one of them stands Leslie Brathwaite gave me. He gave me actually two of them.
Ultimate support.
Yeah, they're the greatest joints ever. And this machine right here, I was a little mad at this machine. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad at this machine. Because it's the shape of the ASR X Pro, right?
Okay,
and it reminds me of how the buttons were made. When it first came out, it was purple one. I couldn't get my hands on the motherfucker. And I'm like, why can't I get this? I'm out here making all these records. Nobody want to give me a machine. It's like, man, you got to holler at Dallas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I'm looking everywhere.
Holler at me, man.
They was gatekeeping. It was like X, Spearhead X. Everybody's like, yo, we're going to do.
Because you know what it was? When we started making the machine, it was full out sounds for real. So it was different back then because even if you got an MPC and they gave you stock sounds back then, it was like, okay, it's some wood snares, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we literally had people chopping up sounds all day long and then putting them into the machine. So when you start to hear those sounds, you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
They feel fat, they feel EQ'd already.
Right.
It was just heavy.
Yeah, but the shit was crazy. It had the wheel on the side, and they kept saying, yo, they gonna be in Guitar Center. I'm like, bro, they never in Guitar Center. I think Rico Wade and me was one time we were in the Guitar Center, like, where's the fucking machine at? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Plug-in Boutique.
Yes.
And BackTrak Tomorrow Network, we here. I had you on another show with me, Leslie, and the guys called Goat Farm. We talked it up about Michael Jackson. I'm skipping that combo today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about some more shit. We're going to get real technical because we didn't get a chance to get technical. We talked a lot of shit. And, you know, where me and you collide at is like we're against certain things and we speak on it. So when we spoke on it, the shit we talked about FL was like, you know what I'm saying?
It is what it is.
You know, we talked about a couple of things. I probably got in trouble with NPC because he's like, we ain't sending you shit. You say you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to NPC. You can send us a couple, but if you
send us some minis.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure everybody knows your history coming off the road from Gumball, and you went to the Songwriters Hall of Fame to bring out Tricky.
Yeah.
How was that experience? I know that there's a lot of things in Atlanta that doesn't get, and we still trying to push to get there, is the respect for the songwriters. I still feel like they give it to LA, they give it to New York, they give it to Nashville, they give it to Chicago. I feel like the respect level between you guys, and you know, they always say, well, they were transported, or you know, JD is really from here, and this person from here. I'm like, bro, I don't care. He's been there 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, the respect level. Let's talk about the respect level of the songwriters, because this is, you know, we talked about this on the other show. It was like the difference between, you know, when Eric Sermon and them came down there, it was like, yo, y'all was hooked first. Y'all was writing first. Beat came last. It was secondary. And just for you to bring, you know, Tricky, one of the staples in the songwriting shit, and you know, and musician as well. I felt like that was a good thing, and I want you to talk about the importance of that.
Yeah, man.
Because we don't get into that too much.
What's crazy is that, you know, for one, the Songwriters Hall of Fame was always reserved for like the very BackTraks and Frank Sinatra's, and you know, it was an elite songwriting LA Hall of Fame. It had nothing to do with us. When Big John went in, Big John became a chairman, you know, of the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and he was the one that, I think it initially started out with him trying to put Dr. Dre in, and they were like, nah. Wow. Because these people aren't songwriters. That's how they kind of framed it. He said, well, you know, in that case, then I don't know if I should be chairman over here because y'all don't understand where we're coming from.
That's crazy.
And the next year, the way he presented it when he presented Jay-Z was different. And he presented them, and I think he came at it the wrong, maybe taking the wrong approach, because, you know, Dr. Dre's a hard slam from Diane Warren, right? So he was like, hold on, wait. I think with Jay, he was able to say, look, he's taken records that other people's already written, and he's collaborating on them.
Right.
So if he samples or makes a song over this record, thinking of it that he wrote a song with that old writer, and that now that old writer is getting benefits from a record that they would have never made. Like just take Stacey Lattisaw for New York.
Yep.
Right. But like that really, Love on a Two-Way Street, those writers got money from that. That went back to them. So he presented it to them as collabs, and then they understood it. So by the time Jermaine went in, and Jimmy and Terry went in, and Jimmy was the first one, and Terry called me and said, man, yo, you're going in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. When you go in there, it's going to change your life forever, and that feeling's never going to go away. He says, it's not like a Grammy. When I went in that room that night, I felt it, because I went in with like Cat Stevens. And I used to watch Cat Stevens movies when I was a kid, and Cats in the Cradle and all. I'm like, how is he just going in the Songwriters Hall of Fame?
That's insane.
But, and then Jermaine to induct me was crazy, because, you know, we've been friends since we were like 16, maybe less than that. I mean, earlier than that, but, you know, staying in College Park, writing songs, going over his house, working on his MPC 60 when I ain't have one, and me and him writing, you know, and then for us to turn into, you know, to have the labels and the Grammys and stuff like that is one thing. For both of us to be in the Songwriters Hall of Fame is like almost like, okay, that's a crazy omen. And now you fast forward and you add Tricky to it, and when they even started kicking his name around, I was like, okay, this is good. He gotta, you know, he has to get this. He deserves it for one. But it wasn't until I had already accepted the Gumball 3000 that he got nominated into it, and then called him and like, yo, man, can you come induct me? And I can't say no. That's my dude. Like, I gave Tricky his first top 5 record that really set it off for a while, which is really Who Dat. Now, he had made songs before that.
Wow.
But Who Dat really put him on the map as far as like, okay, who is this?
I didn't even know he did that.
He did Who Dat, JT Money.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
And then, and from that time, we had our thing. So he had Red Zone, I had Dark. So we were all like, we had the same cars. I get Ferraris, they'll get Ferraris, him and Shakespeare. all right? We started doing the thing, like we were like that, right? So I was doing Sammy. He did the Crazy Things I Do for Love. Then we started working back and forth. We started doing like this. We just started being like brothers for real, like friends. Me and Tricky, we kind of a lot alike in the sense that we're Capricorns. And we just kind of really quiet on our own.
Facts,
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But he's always been a person that really, he's like, I call him the finisher because he's really good at hearing. I used to ask him, how you make that shit sound like that? I was liking my shit to sound muddy because I was like
Me
in
too.
the East Coast.
Yep.
The brightness would be like, damn, I couldn't get the two to work. He came to me one night. He was like, man, I want you to hit something. I think I got a song that's gonna change my life and change how they respect me as a writer. I remember I was at like the Norman Clayton Museum. I'm sitting in my Phantom outside, right? And then he comes in the car and he plays me Umbrella. And I'm like, shit, what the fuck was that you just played me? I was like, you know what? You're right. This is gonna change your life forever. And this is one of them joints, bro.
I remember, bro, because Jeezy was playing it to us before he got on, and I was like, bro, what in the world?
What a great record, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the trip is that giving them the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and shout out to The Dream, because everybody know that Tricky and Dream were partners and writing partners on these records.
Yep.
But it was really an incredible feeling for the three of us. Now you got three of us out of Atlanta, right? Out of the same ecosystem. And then like one of us did classical and one of us did something else. You got the same three of us that still work in the same trifecta ecosystem that's now in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And I used to ask Quincy Jones, like, man, how do you know Duke Ellington and Ray Charles and all them before y'all ever made it? And he's like, you're doing the same thing, you just don't know it yet.
You need 20 more years.
20 more years, bro, before it gets there. But it was an incredible feeling, and the fact that I made it was even a better feeling. Because I was like, my odds were up.
Yeah, that's good. I feel you mentioned Shakespeare, and I was like, man, another great songwriter.
Yep.
His time, when can that be?
Shakespeare, well, know what's interesting about Shakespeare? I love Shake. We got really, really close in that same era because me and him and Tricky, you know, were doing the records and stuff. And I went over to their studio. I just finished working on fan mail, and I did like Silly Ho and fan mail and the records and stuff like that. And we were about to go out with a record. And I went over to their studio and they played me No Scrubs, but it was for Candy and Tiny. It was their song.
Yep.
And I'm like, what is that? They were just trying to play me stuff they was working on, like we were doing. I'm like, oh, I said, you give me that song right there, I'll make it for TLC right now. And he was like, what? That's Candy's song. I understand that, but if you give it to me, I'll put that on TLC, and that'll be the first single because Chili had never had a song that she was singing the lead on. It was always the low voice and then the high voice.
Right.
But now this will give us another entrance right here. And so they're like, you sure? I'm like, I'm fucking positive. This is the first single. I rearranged the other first singles. Let's make this the first single. And that's how we did Scrubs. But like, you know, like they had him and Candy. You know, they had Bills, they had Scrubs, they had everything that made you interested in that sound that Destiny Child had to really blow them up was Candy and Shakespeare.
Right.
And they had that stride. They had a thing going where the writing style that Candy had and was doing at the time was just like the first version of melodic hip hop that was coming from the streets from a girl standpoint.
Yeah, it was. It was. I was trying to figure out, you know, Shakespeare. You know, I always go there. I remember when he was building the spot. I'm like, bro, you building? He's like, no, I'm building it myself. He's like making the whole studio.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, bro, this shit like the W Hotel in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, if they can add that, y'all will have a Mount Rushmore of songwriters in Atlanta for sure.
You know what happened with Shake too? He called me one time. He was like, you know, Shake. One thing about him is, you know, he's just that guy. He's not a bullshitter.
Yeah.
And I think he got into a publishing deal, and I told him kind of like, hey man, you got to understand how these things work. You know, they count you as this much of a writer. That's how I'm gonna base your deal or whatever. So he ended up getting into a deal that he didn't want to. But at the end of the day, like all of us, if you don't understand them at the beginning, you get mad at the end.
Yeah. Facts.
And his man at the end was like, let me tell you something. I ain't never want to be no Quincy Jones. I ain't never want to be you. I just got out of jail before I did
I'm a street
Scrubs.
nigga.
I got out of jail DA before I did Scrubs. All right, I ain't trying to be that. They gonna play with me, you know what I'm saying? So, but he's he was you know, the Shakespeare is the way he thought about, you know, business, and you know, he was always serious about his real estate and all that. And I knew that he was one day gonna ride off to the sunset. Like, I ain't trying to mess with this because I'm gonna kill somebody.
Yep. Put the bat to their head.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Songwriting, you know, is interesting to me because it was a lot of times where I felt like it was a prerequisite on why they would call you a songwriter. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, bro, if you did a hook, you wasn't a songwriter. You had to at least did. And I felt like when you're talking about the Hall of Fame, I felt like if they didn't have the verse, hook, B seg, A seg, C seg, bridge, you couldn't be a songwriter. What was that made it special about you guys? Y'all were breaking the rules. I felt like y'all had some bridges. Y'all went to the actual same beat drum as everybody, but y'all changed how writing was set up because it was in a rap form as well. And you know what I mean? I felt like that was special. And for the Songwriter Hall of Fame or, you know, the actual committee, not see that as songwriting is kind of crazy because you hear about Kendrick and Kendrick's he won a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, now they respect it in a different way because, you know, the times were different even 10 years, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And the way that they looked at songwriters were different at that point. They had to kind of like, a lot of people didn't know that Jermaine at the same point like was writing his songs. He was writing the Mariah Carey records, he's writing the Usher songs, and he'd sing them down first, and then they'll come sing them. And I think what we got into a habit of doing is I would write my whole song. I would have Deborah Killens come and sing it, so I could translate the voice at least closer to the girls.
Right.
And then that was it. Now, then I learned to say, okay, well, let me leave a space open for Pink to do a second verse. Or let me leave a space open for this. But these are my songs, right? I could have finished the second verse. I already did everything else. The second verse is the easiest thing to do.
Right.
And like I always say, you got to cram a story into 2 minutes. So whether it's Creep, whether it's What About Your Friends, all these songs are just songs I would go in and write. So what John had to go back, and same thing with Jermaine, because we were writer-producers, right? And I'll sit in the room with you and I'll play you beats and you'll be sitting there going like, okay. David Foster one time, he comes in the studio and we're working on his wife, Christine. And so when he comes in, and this was like, I mean, this was 90s, mid-90s, and dark. So he comes in, I start playing him beats. Yeah. He's just looking at me and what about this one? Play another song, right? Now the beats still got chord progressions and stuff to them. They're not just hip hop beats, they're songs with no song to it.
Right.
So he looked at me finally, he goes, let me ask you a question, what are you doing? I start playing you these beats and then whatever one you like, I'll write the song to it. He goes, wait, how do you do that? You're supposed to write the song first and then produce it. I said, well, I could do that too if you want me to, right? So he goes, no, keep doing what you're doing. So he started writing down the sheet music to the beats because that's how he looks at music, right?
Wow.
So I think the misconception between me and Jermaine and a lot of people like us is you have a producer, they produce and make beats.
Yep.
You have a writer, they write.
Yep.
It's not many times today that you get the writer and producing as one, because that's what we were focused on doing that. I started because I thought that's how you did it. I didn't know any other way. I thought that Prince and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and LA and Babyface was writing all their stuff, which they were. And so I just said, okay, well, I'll just do it by myself. And I used to be like, man, I wish I had somebody to come write with me sometimes because I would just not sure about my perception. But if you take a song like Creep or Trick Me or Hit 'Em Up Style, these are all songs I wrote 100% myself. And the majority of my songs, I'm either 75, 85, 90, 100, you know, because that's my picture and I have to insert the person in them. So when Big John kind of
He talking that shit. Songwriters, producers,
man,
he's talking that shit. 85 to 90% of the song, go ahead.
Yeah, but when Big John started to show that to the board and people too, that's what Dallas and Jermaine been writing all of these songs for real. Because like, again, the producer today, I haven't really met too many producers today, and I'm not saying they're not there, but to say, okay, this is my beat, this is my song I wrote, let's see if we can get this on who. Let's see if we can get this on who. A lot of times you got them, they're self-contained artists. I wrote this for myself. I did this on myself. But now let me see if I can get this on Rihanna. Let me see if I can get this. Can you get this to them? You wrote this song 100% and you produced the track and you did all the music. And what they started doing was this thing called top lining, which was called insecurity, because they'll put you in a room with 10 people to get one thing that's a hook that's called the top line. Now, what's the top line? Creep is a top line because you can see the word, right, as one thing, and then you can see the hook as being something else that it can mean to a bunch of people. Well, you're sneaking out, or that means you're creeping, or you're being creepy, or you like, so you got your different meanings to it, right? Like blue, the color, the feeling, right? So that's what the top line became, and it became so difficult for somebody to do that it started destroying music. Because if it takes 11 or 21 people to write All Day Nigga, or 11 people to write one song, you start being like, why is that necessary? It's only necessary because the A&R people didn't have a gut feeling no more. And so they feel like whoever I put them in the room with the most, if I put them in the room with 10 great writers, I'm gonna get a song. When really you're just canceling it out. People are getting 2.1% and it just doesn't make sense. If you can't tell a 2-minute story as a songwriter, you got a problem. I'm just telling you a 2-minute story of what just happened to me. I'll tell you 15 or 20 minutes of that story in a regular conversation. So to melodically tell you that story, and you got 2 minutes now. We used to have 3.5 back in the 70s. You had 7 minutes, 8 minutes. You got 2 minutes now.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened,
Yeah.
how it happened, why it happened, how you feel about it. And so I just find it, co-writing and stuff is good, but finally, the people, the producers are getting, the ones that's going in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that is because we were songwriters first. Or I go to sessions where I don't even produce. I go to sessions to just write because then I'm the writer.
Yep.
So I come home, make me another track, write it 100% and send it to someone else. So I started to learn that I like what I do, whatever the fuck it is.
Facts. I'm the same way.
You know what I'm
Same
saying?
way. I'm talking mechanics of songwriting. You explained one of the key pieces, having a subject, building behind the subject. A lot of writers don't have, in this day, in my opinion, don't have much to say or have much to talk about.
For sure.
You know what I'm
bro.
saying? So when you're making a creep, right? Does this require you to be, and this is a broad subject, does this require you to be in the street, being at clubs, meeting women, not being in a relationship, going out with the homies, driving a car a certain way, and then you're taking that back to the studio and putting that into the writing? Or is this something that was like, I got a great imagination?
Nah, I mean, a great imagination works also because as a writer, you can either write, you can write it to be true or false or fiction or nonfiction or whatever, but like songs like Creep, the song by me and Kim Porter, we were dating at the time and I was going through problems and stuff with money and everything else. I wasn't really going to the house and I was down here in the studio and just doing my thing and kind of trying to drown myself and drinking and whatever, messing with girls. So I got this up. And one day I figured out that she was hanging with, someone else. And then but I couldn't blame her for it because I know I had been doing my shit, you know what I'm saying? And we've been friends for so long that, so she's like, I had to do what I had to do. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but what about me? You just left me here like this. So it's only I needed your attention. So that's when I wrote Creep. And like the good thing about me writing songs that I've learned I liked a lot in my life is coming up, a lot of my friends were girls. Right? So I would just hear all this stuff. And then also whatever coming up young and then coming up where we got to start doing, making records at 17, 18, 19, 20 and music being your first love, and then money and stuff coming along with it, you just started to do things or have experiences where they said, this is how you made me feel. I can't believe you did that to me. And then I would channel that back and say, oh man, I understand that. Let me write a song about it. But like it's really about channeling and telling stories, man. We're all storytellers, whether it's you're a writer of a song or a writer of a movie or even a director of it, you're just trying to get that story across to hit the right nerve to people,
But how do you know that there's going to be 10,000, 100,000, million people that's actually going to feel this same subject? When you're writing a song, I could be writing about aliens, right? How do I pinpoint, I know it's 10,000 people that's going to like this? Because it's 10,000 people that are creeping right now? Or is it like, and then the other part to it is a two-part question. As a man, you're writing about a woman doing something to you. How do you put yourself in those shoes to make it feel like that?
Because you got to understand where they're coming from and accept your shit.
Got you.
You got to put yourself in that how would I feel if that shit happened to me?
Got you.
And most time, man, we don't do that. We'd be like, fuck
don't.
that, I ain't do that shit. Why you talking to me about this shit right now? This shit crazy. Get the fuck out of here. Right?
That's what I'm asking. I'm like, how do you put yourself in their seat?
And what's cool is that when you flip a song and write it like from a dude's standpoint for the girl, you're like, okay, that shit cool as fuck. Because she like, ain't having that. But if you listen to songs like Folded from Kalani, as soon as you hear that, okay, there it is, that's a record.
Yeah, man.
So it doesn't take, when you hear one, it doesn't take you a whole lot. You're like, okay, there it is. Like, it makes sense, it's clever. Like in country music, they hear it all the time. You listen to Ella Langley now, like her records are the clever and they're on the sleeve, Somebody's always gonna be wanting to hear what they're scared to say. That's the thing about songs. Like if you're gonna feel that way, but you don't have the nerve to say it, but you do feel that way.
Right.
I don't care if it's a hip hop record, I don't care if it's a love song or a record how you got hurt and you can't eat or whatever it is, you just, so when somebody sings it and an artist does it, that's part of what gives you fandom to them because you're like, damn, they're just like me. Or that's how I want to be, rather.
The connection is very important, bro. It's just hard because people songwriting don't connect no more. It does connect to certain people. So you hear a song like, Spin That right now, right? And she's pinpointing. I was just telling somebody the other day, they was like, why does that song work? I said, well, in my opinion, I feel like to spin that shit record works because the hustle has changed. There was rappers, they were selling dope and they were doing stuff like that. You can't get dope no more, really, to sell. Like they was talking
Yeah,
bricks and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that's
So everybody's
out.
using people's social security numbers, VPNs, you know, whatever they doing, CPNs. You know what I'm
The
saying?
hustle's different.
And so the hustle is different. That's why it's connecting. So if you're calling them out and they're making the money. I was at Lennox, I was riding this kid. He pulled up to the car and he was like, he pulled out two big watch. He probably had $50,000. Yeah, big watch. He like, bro, I'm getting money out here, the big chain. But I didn't recognize it because it wasn't what I saw in the BMF era, where I knew exactly where you got the money from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
these guys now, it's like, oh, okay, my mind computed it as, oh, he probably scammed him. That's where he's getting the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know where you're pinpointing it at. With these songs you're writing, Silly Ho, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, any of these records, like I could never see myself being like, this, I know women would sing this because this is the dialogue. Like you have to really be hanging, like when I was talking about being outside, you really have to be sitting with some women at dinner and being a sponge, like, oh, they talking back and forth about a certain
when you
topic.
One thing I wouldn't do, you know, I had to hang with artists long enough to understand them first. Because I'm supposed to be like if you plugged up to me, and then let me translate you. And then this is what people want to hear and see from you. Because a lot of times the artists are so personal in a different way that it doesn't connect. It's like it misses because it's a different kind of personal.
Right.
And it's hard to explain how you feel sometimes,
Right.
like in a way that cleverly makes people understand it. So, you know, if I sit with T-Boz, one thing I don't know about her is that she don't want no bitchy ass shit. She ain't gonna say no soft ass lyrics. I hang with her as a friend, so I hear how she does everything. I hear how swag is. I hear her like, fuck that, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't doing no bitch ass bitch. Come on, man. So like,
I know Silly Ho.
yeah, you know, you can't write no song for her. They ain't gonna be in that way. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna work. But that's the fun about producing and writing as a producer and writer is like you get to tap in, listen, have conversations. I was sitting there with one artist and her boyfriend and husband on the phone said, shit, whoever you sitting next to right now, I'm killing that motherfucker. I know you with somebody. I'm like, hold on, that's me.
Damn.
So I'm in the studio. And she goes, well, fuck that motherfucker. I just want to go fuck you. I'm going to pawn my wedding ring. And I was like, well, damn, there go the record, pawn my wedding ring. Oh, so I went and wrote that record. Like, you know.
So it requires you to always have your notepad out.
Because think about it like this, right? A zillion conversations that go on every day, period, with people, right? And some kind of way you got to find a song that didn't exist yet, right? But kind of existed, you know? So and being clever about it. And so still between this many notes and that many words, you can find something to say in a way that nobody's ever fucking said it before.
Facts.
And that's crazy.
That's facts. What happens when you sit in front of somebody like a J-Lo or a Janet Jackson in the story, you're not getting the information that you need to give them their next standing point, which will be a hit?
That's a great question because the Janet Jackson session almost killed me that time because JD was dating her at the time. So I was like, it was JD's girl at the time. But she came to the studio and working on Janet's project and she goes, you know what, Dallas, I don't want to write. I want you to do it because, you know, I want to get out of the way, so to speak. And I said, wait, did you write on all your other stuff? She said, yeah. Well, I said, well, how you gonna hang me out there? Like, how you gonna throw me out the window by myself? She's like, well, I'm just in a good place. I'm not in a bad place. I was in a bad place then. Now I'm in a really good place. And, you know, with Jermaine, and this is great.
So she didn't have
life is
anything
different, so I don't
really
really
to
have
connect
nothing
to.
negative to say.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we can think about positive stuff, like positive sex, like good things that make you feel good about that. She said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, like you can still have a sex conversation without it being like, you know, you got fucked over or whatever. You can still do Love Me for a Little While or like these records. She said, okay, wow. Okay, I should think like that. I said, yeah. The next day, she shows up to the studio with a box of Tantric sex books. Right? And then she's taking them out of the thing. My engineer, Rick, is looking at me and she's like, oh, look at these positions. Look at all this stuff. And I'm just over there dying. I'm like, God, like this ain't fair at all. This is like another level of like torture.
Now you gotta make a tantric song.
So we did a song called Sex Ambition. It was tough. Janet Jackson, man, you're like, dang. And she was so nice. She was one of the best sessions I've ever had because she was like, yes, Dallas, whatever you say, Dallas, like this, Dallas, like that, Dallas. No bounce back whatsoever.
Wow.
But it's in that, you know, if it wasn't for her bringing that book, if it wasn't for her being able to go down these, you know, musical experiences that you capture, like they always say, a record is a recording of an event that just happened to you. So the best record usually just happened to you. And those things change all the time. The lingo changes all the time. The situations change all the time. Like the stuff you can write now that couldn't write then because it wouldn't make any sense.
Right. Right.
You know, we didn't have
slang different.
You didn't have Instagram then.
Conversation
We didn't even
different,
have socials back then like that. Like
Yeah.
it was a whole different conversation piece. Like
Yeah.
you know, we still like even the cell phones was huge. So you were
the battery pack.
The battery pack. Was the shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if it requires you to. Let me put it this way: when you have a notebook, like say you're walking around and you're not in songwriting mode, but you're writing songs constantly. It's just in you. And you go to New York tomorrow and you walk around Manhattan and you get these ideas, you write them in your notepad. It might be a song called Lafayette Street or whatever. When you go to sit with an artist and you're plugged up to them and your antennas are on, but you're giving you different energy, are you in your head saying, I can't give her Lafayette Street because that don't work for her? Or do you tailor it to them? Or do you say, you know what, I'll save that Lafayette Street for Christina?
Yeah, you're like, well, sometimes, you know, what's interesting is that the record that you wouldn't think for them ends up being a unique one for them.
Okay.
Like Taylor Swift said, one of the best things at the Songwriters Hall of Fame is she started giving homage to the first writers that really helped her, Liz and a couple other writers out of Nashville who was really writing the songs. And she was like, man, I show up with a bunch of like words and a bunch of things, but I didn't know how to make them into songs all the way. And this team would always teach me more and more and more, you know.
Right.
And so, and still to this day, like you have, you know, the real songs, the reason they're gonna touch people that way is somebody found a clever way to say it and to position that they haven't been said that way yet. It's only eight stories to tell, so to speak, right?
Yep.
So, but within that, it's always that's what happened to me today. And when you do those songs, love songs, 'cause remember at one point, like if you go to the 80s, if you go to Kashif and R&B 80s stuff like Loose Ends and whatever stuff like that, you didn't really have nothing but love songs. There was no such thing as nothing else.
That was a cornerstone.
Even if it was fast, if it was slow, whatever, it was just still like it was no other talking points to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. Switching subjects to hits, me coming up and you too, we thought about authenticity, what we did. And sometimes hits could come from being authentic. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you had to be a little bit, we call it Guido, like a little bit corny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people can ride the line of, I can write Guido, but I'm authentic. I'm cool, I have taste. And I'm trying to make this hit as dorky as possible for them to get, right? We were talking about Regulator. It just had an authentic feel versus like Baby Got Back was like, it had like little parts in that. Doom, 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 It was like, what is that? But we loved it then. I feel like now people won't try it because everything has to be VHS looking on the IG. It has to have this warm feeling. It has to have like, how do we get back to a point where I'm not mad at MC Hammer. I'm not mad at, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at these songs like that have these just not so authentic breakbeat drums that still feel like, you know what I'm saying? Because you made Creep. Creep, I feel, was warm. That was the VHS. That was the thing.
VHS, baby.
But then you had like Silly Ho, but things like you had some of the Madonna records, or even like Michael Jackson drums, just like, you know what I'm saying? As an authentic person, and I consider it has taste, how do you be like, I can do this corny, nobody gonna say shit to me? Because T-Pain battles it a lot. That's my man. He's like, yo, they be thinking I'm corny. No, you're not. You're good as fuck.
I know that.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, we started this thing. Remember when we were coming up? We had this thing about going pop, right?
Exactly.
So going pop,
crossing over.
Yeah, going pop meant how popular can you get? Like, to go pop was like this thing that was like a double-edged sword to people because it's like, you want to sell 20 million records? Hell yeah. Well, you want to go pop because that's what pop means, popular.
Facts.
So like the you know and the things that Lionel Richie and people like that knew about songs are love songs. That's it, right? When we started to add all the other stuff to it, it starts to demographic it out a little bit different. So like it's like if you're gonna be this harsh or you're gonna say that kind of word in it, that's probably gonna go here, right?
Yep.
The thing that I think the people today got away from that we always wanted to do was we wanted to make hits. We wanted to be the biggest records in the world. I wanted to have records that were huge. I ain't never care about pop. If I'm gonna be underground, I know how to do that too. Take some of this off of it.
Yep.
But to go here, I got to do a lot more to go here than to go there. Like, if I make some cool words, say some fucking cuss words, and talk nasty, I'm cool over here.
Right.
But to get over here, I just need to be like regular enough for regular people, enough kids, mothers, general population to sing the song.
Right.
Then those things are gonna like usually. I mean, today you still have records like the Bodak Black or Cardi B's records being as big as they could be, saying what they say.
Yeah,
right.
1000%.
It's not gonna be ever as big as like the David Foster, Celine Dion record, because the trend will take the record out with it. When that trend is gone, that record is gone, and when that artist is gone, that's gone. But these standards, the We Belong Togethers and all these records are gonna be around forever just because they're love songs. Like, that's what they call them. They used to call them standards. Right?
Yeah, standards. Yep.
So we don't have enough people right now, to me, that want to make great songs. Sometimes I go in with artists right now, and I always tell you that, man, I'm not fucking vibing, bro. Y'all want to be cool and shit.
No more vibes.
I don't want to be cool, man. I already been cool. I'm cool as fuck. I want a whole bunch of fucking people listen to my records and a lot more loot from doing this shit. To be like just getting more accolades for how many people can I get to hear my shit. Right. So if I leave this planet, everybody gonna leave the fucking planet. Me, you, Oprah, Bill Gates. So it's just like that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
So while I'm here, I'm just trying to have fun, laugh as much as possible, not feel bad, and make as many people hear songs as I can and leave that shit here on the earth.
Right. We were just talking about the goalie. He had 50,000 followers.
Right. 10 million, not 12. He's at 12 now.
He's at 13. He's 13 million. He'll be at 20 by this whole thing. You know what I mean?
He went pop.
Yeah, he went pop.
He went pop quick.
He went pop for sure. He went pop.
Ask him if he want to go back to 50,000 when he get home.
Nah, he definitely don't want that.
With that phone ringing off the hook.
He definitely don't want that. It's a good segue because we're moving in production. What makes you say, okay, in order for the million gazillion people to hear my shit, I need to take this Impeach the President drum out and import this whatever YTs want to hear. You know what I'm saying? What makes you think? Like bells, like, oh, put this bell in it, that'll take it there.
You know what's funny is certain people adapt to certain frequencies.
Okay.
As a part of their listening, they adapt to certain frequencies, and what pleases their ear in that frequency is what they're gonna pull to. So if you notice when they when "Hit Me Baby One More Time" came out, if you listen to that record right now, you're gonna see it sound thin as hell. It's bam, 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 right? Now the record was written for TLC, but the girls didn't like it because they felt like, oh, they're trying to do what you're already doing. Why would we take that, right? My drums was way heavier, my bass was way louder, my 808s turned up, my drums are kicking. What about your friends compared to "Baby One More Time"? Don't stand a chance with drums, right? So. But my song is still as good as that song. So like my vehicle they wrote in was just more street and hip hop and everything else, right? But the frequencies that most young, white, teenage people were used to being tuned to was a frequency on FM radio. And that frequency automatically compressed out stuff in the first place. So when you got to FM radio, you sounded different. The frequency was different, right? It was crisper, it was cleaner, it was that, right? So that's the frequency that the most popular people was listening to in their heads. So they got adapted to hearing stuff that was like bright and clear and clean. And Jimmy Iovine says it all the time about Dre, right? He's like, yeah, when Dre did his mixes, they sounded clean. That East Coast shit was sounding muddy, right? But Dre was in LA. And Dre was listening to all the pop records out in LA, K-Day and all that, and that's the frequency they would sound to. Now, even if you play Snoop Dogg records, Snoop Dogg, yeah, dog, it's mixed like "Hit Me Baby One More Time."
It is, bro. I never even thought about that.
The frequencies.
Yep.
Those frequencies speak to a certain thing. Now, on purpose, like I would take songs and I write the song on top of it to be a pop song that I knew it was, and then I'll just mess the frequencies up. So then you'll get "Don't Take It Personal," or you'll get like all of my records. If it was a key to them, is taking a pop song. And then once I wrote "Hit 'Em Up" style, like as I used to man, I was beating in the beam, just be man, can't leave it, I me man, cheating, like, hey ladies, keep man, don't forget buck clouds, go back and hit 'em up style.
Like, how'd you come up with that, bro? That's so crazy of a song, and it had like just this weird. It was like what made you? I was like, he's high. There's no way in the world, bro.
I was in the fucking studio and I did the song for her. LA wanted it like a dance. No, he wanted it like a soul song, like the record I did for Joy, like Missing You.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to do it, but I was like, damn, wait, this ain't it. So we're gonna spend the whole day and I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this day off. So then the next day, that night after she left, then this is a true story. Then Mary Melody's Cartoons was on.
Oh.
And I was fucking sitting there laughing my ass off because I was sitting there smoking weed, like laughing at this shit. And it's already like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning and shit. And I said, I want a ringa, I want a mood, I want a song, I want a swinger. It's a little owl.
Yeah.
So I'm cracking up laughing at it. And then at the same time, man, I started messing with my keys and that and I just went in. I wrote the song in like 10 minutes, right? But then I didn't think nobody would like it because I did it like that, right? So the next day she comes to the studio. I was like, sing this song. Oh, this ain't what LA wanted, but just sing it in there. I need to get it out. It's been aggravating me, right? So she comes, she sings the song. I'm like, cool. Then I'm like, all right, I know I'm gonna like that, but he ain't gonna like that shit. So I'm not even gonna play it for him. So I didn't really play it for him. And then I went to play in Fan Mail and he came out and he went, what happened to the Blue Cantrell session you did? I'm like, oh, you're not gonna like that song. It's not what you asked for. As soon as he put it in and started playing, he's like, what the fuck is this? He's like, this is the first single. This is the first single right here. He didn't even get to the hook yet.
Yo.
So it's just like there was like that's the thing, you never know where you can get an inspiration from at any given time. You never know how how unique that thing is gonna be with all these hundreds of thousands of records that come out every single day. Like, how do you find your place to be not in the ocean of all that? How do you find your way to stand out? How do you find and the only way to do that is you gotta find some way to, I know it's a hard way to say it, but be great. You gotta wanna be great. You gotta wanna look out, like, if the people you're looking up to when you're making your songs are mediocre in what they're doing, even though they might have a lot of people listening to it, then you're gonna be mediocre, don't worry. Your shit gonna be okay. You gonna think niggas is popping off on it, but niggas is listening to something niggas already done said 10 times.
That's right.
And heard 50 times. That's right. And then in rap right now, just really ain't nowhere else to, you can't, it's nowhere, somebody gotta come out and be so fucking different somewhere or something else to go far left and stand out enough to be huge again, because it's only so many words. There's only so many melodies, and so the rap, if you put, I can play you 15 rap records back to back that's got the same exact melody, that don't change at all in the cadences, just because there ain't nowhere else to go. Like, there's been done so much over these last 10 years, and because you had user-generated content, they could just put it out. It wasn't a filter. So it was just overdone. And so it's really hard now, and I feel it in Atlanta. It's the first time I really felt Atlanta like, man, we got no rap music.
Damn, we out of rap music. We out of gas.
You know, I guess. I mean, get the tip and loot, everybody's doing their thing, but as far as like who's the new jump off, it's been a new jump off almost every year, at least, if not every 6 months. At one point, it was just like, damn, you know, because those things everybody was doing was so innovative. When you first heard Thug, when you first heard everybody, when you first heard Gucci, when you first heard everybody, compared to everybody hearing that and then making their patterns after it. But that new jump off, it's gonna happen just because that's how the times is. But
it's just tough seeing it. It's like, you know, even in R&B, it's like, have they ran out of things to talk about? It's like, I feel like in R&B, if they cuss 5 times, it's like, oh, I like it.
There it is. Like, you got to for them to be in it. It's like,
damn, like, what's going on here?
You
twerk or cuss?
Yeah,
you in there
because, and it's just a shift in, and know it's gonna be so magical when these shifts happen in the power of it. But like, niggas ain't hurting the way they supposed to be hurting those bitches no more. Like, fuck that shit. That bitch, I fucked the bitch. I fucked her friend. Yeah, fuck that shit. Then you go around crying later when she over there with the nigga, you over there going crazy, right? But you still ain't did the Jodeci.
Right.
You still ain't sung no hurtful songs.
Facts. Because they don't want to get back. They just want to go.
They just want to do what they want to do.
Hit somebody with a car or some shit.
Bro, every record, it's a big hole in the fact that dudes ain't singing the records because everything got so arrogant. Everything was like, you know, fuck that bitch or drop down, get low, whatever. But like the love song that Babyface was singing or Jodeci singing when they're like, you know, even the Come and Talk to Me's and all that stuff. Like, just the thing of like, it's a hole in that part of it. You got Bruno that does it, but he's so huge that like everybody expects that already.
We had a few Brunos, you know what I'm saying? The game can't withstand off one. Like this ain't, you know what I'm saying? We had Mike, but we had Prince. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of that going on. As a musician, I find myself not being able to answer this question only because I'm not in this space a lot. But as a songwriter, producer, exec, when you're in the studio or you're not in the studio, have you ever gotten frustrated that the words aren't connecting with you to write a song, what do you do? Do you go watch a movie? Some people say, I'll just go watch movies and I come back to it.
Yeah.
I get so frustrated with that shit. I try to force it. I'm like, you
It's
are
the
going
most
to
frustrating
just
thing
make
ever.
some whack shit. Just keep making shit until it fucks
You know what you do though? Like what I'll do is like, I'll like when I find myself stuck, which is most times if I get stuck, it's because somebody else is stuck. I'm not really a stuck type person.
Got you.
I'll get it out and then I might go back and say, oh, this could have been better, that could have been better. But if I'm stuck, I was writing with this one writer, working on some stuff and it was working and then, you know, and I have to, then you're right, you got to give people space to write. Other than that, that defeats the purpose of them being there, right?
Right.
So I'm over here doing my thing, letting her do her thing, right? Now let another 10, 15, 20 minutes pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what's going on? We already had everything. I don't know, but I'm stuck on this word between you and, you know, do. I'm like, see, I can't do that kind of shit. That would drive me nuts. I can't be stuck on a word between you and do because you know what? Who the fuck cares? Get the sentence out or whatever you're trying to say and move on. Like you're overthinking it. And the magic to me leaves when you overthink it.
Mm.
That's not, because you gotta leave some room for God to come in and do the magic.
1000%.
Right? And if you're sitting there doing this the whole time, you're totally disrupting that thing. So I always just like either say, you know what, let me just feel it enough to get it going. I know I did 75% good. I'm gonna go to a whole nother song and then hear it fresh later and then always come back and change the words. But what you can't do is like when you beat yourself up that much, bro, you're like, especially for me, I'll get just like, it turns into a time. So I learned that if I got it, I got it.
Yeah.
If I ain't got it, I just ain't got it. And like most of the time, like something, look, I can even, whatever I'm writing or write with somebody, it's not gonna be whack, right? Because I know how to at least get some things across to make it where here's something good.
You're just sketching now.
Yeah. It just
But do
depends
you
on how
tell
clever.
them like you have 3 days with them and you're like, I don't got it today, I'll be back tomorrow. Those conversations happen or you just go through with the session?
We just go through it because I always thought my thing I try to tell an artist is let's not overthink it. Let's just do it because we don't want to get in our own way. Like you never know what would come out because you have some artists that say like, like that's, I don't know if that's me, and say, nobody really care who you are though. Right. So that's the first thing. And like, I always tell people like, yo, the thing that we got to realize is that right now, for real, out of 8 billion people in the world, nobody giving a shit about you.
Nope.
They're not thinking about you at all. Nope. You're thinking about you in your head yourself. Oh, I got to wait to do this because I got to get this right for my release. For what? Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, bro.
Don't nobody give two shits.
They saying fucking 10,000 things a day.
You do something great, they jump up and they clap. Other than that, they're not giving two shits about what you're doing. They're not thinking about like, that's all in your head. And I'll tell you, a lot of artists, when people get in their way, you just dropped, and now you're up at 30,000 monthlies or something like that, bro. Keep dropping. Oh man, I've been working on my stuff, but I gotta, now 6 weeks done passed, another 6 months done passed, and now you're 30,000 and went down to 5,000.
Never the right time, bro.
So who you waiting on? You just getting your way, because ain't nobody waiting on you at all whatsoever. People don't give two shits about none of that shit. It's just in your head. So the people you see be really successful a lot of times are oblivious.
Right.
They just run through it. They just, that's why you went through the area, you man, I got 50 beats today, bro. I just made these. I'm like, oh man, all them gonna sound the same. It's like, what about where's the two unique ones at?
Right.
Like, but it's just it's now I feel like if with the way that music is now, I think it is a tipping point for things to get a chance. So like, we was talking about the paradox. A lot of black kids now that were doing rock before, they'll do rock to be like, I look like a rock star. Right. I want to sound like, but my songs actually do not sound anywhere near those pop rock songs on the radio.
Right.
Right. So they'll be vibey. So now that you got these kids now writing and trying to write the best songs they can as pop rock songs, it's registering as that. And white kids are liking it, black kids are liking it, everybody's liking it because now the song is there. I think that's the new wave of what's going to happen is everybody about to get in that songwriting. Yeah. Songwriting is dope. Songwriting is clever.
Yes, sir.
It gives you gratification that you wouldn't feel the same way because you know that beat you might could have made it, but this song written this way, you couldn't have done it. It's so much magic in that the way that thing turned out unique.
That's a fact.
That's why the Songwriters, back to the Songwriters Hall of Fame, that accolade itself is when you see all those people in that room, give you that thing, okay, because I always say this too, I'm not a songwriter because I said it, I'm a songwriter because all of them said it.
Facts.
I'm not a producer because I said it. I was saying that shit a long time. They wasn't listening to me when I was a kid. But it went into the hundreds of millions of people that bought my record say he's a producer that made me one,
That was always hard for me too, before we get technical. When you meet people now and they don't know who you are, right? say, hey, I'm Dallas. I say, hey, Dallas, what you do? What do you say?
It depends on who it is.
You don't know.
I had this one dude, man. He's like, man, I was on the gumball one time. The dude goes, man, hey, man, so you're a drone flyer, right? You be flying the drones for the teams. I said, yeah, I got a drone. He said, cool. So tomorrow, can you fly our drone and get some footage for us? I said, yeah, I got you, right? Cool. We get to dinner that night. I mean, we're sitting there with the owner and stuff. Everybody's kind of looking at him like, no, it's cool. So the next day I see him, he's like, man, can I talk to you for a second? Can I really apologize? I said, what? He said, man, my nephew loves music. And he called me and said, man, you on the gumball with one of my favorite producers in the world. He's the best songwriter producer. And he said, it was you. I said, I write produce too.
But I fly
do got drones. So he's like, man, I'm so sorry. Would you take a picture? I said, no, let's call your nephew.
Right.
Like, let's get him on the FaceTime.
That's hard.
You
That's
know?
dope. Quincy Jones says, when money comes into the studio, God leaves out.
You know,
I do believe that, but there are chances where you like, I gotta give me some motherfucking money. You know what I'm saying? How do you balance that part as a businessman? Because when you're making music here, I understand that system because it's like I'm creating because I love to create. But when you're put in music business, you have to sit down and create with the money, and that's where the hit thought process comes in. 1 million people's listen, a bunch of streams, whatever. How do you balance that? Because I always challenge that with Quincy, and I was just like, man, how do we get to a point where we can still be businessmen and still create without that?
I think what he was really meaning when he said that, because I heard him say that plenty of times, is because the money walks in the room and everybody gets evil. Everybody gets like greedy with each other, who's ever working and who's ever like, you know,
like, I need 10%.
Yeah, I need, I got better out of this. But if you think about it, some of the best records that you made was when you were coming up and you didn't have any money.
That's right.
And it wasn't about it.
1000%.
Like you were just so eager for somebody to hear them.
Yep.
And then that generated you money, right? So if you can keep that same thing, it'll go the same way. But I've seen people come in the studio and be fucking assholes after they made money. I've seen people act different when the money shows up in the room, or they think that now we got a record that's different. So they, you know, I've seen what he's talking about. And he always said a thing like, you know, check your ego at the door.
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
Because we're going to make money.
Yeah, now I accept it because it's like, bro, you seen Quincy Jones' house before?
Yeah.
I've never seen a house that big. You know what I'm saying? So
many accolades he got in that house.
You talking about money left the studio? What's this thing? This
This
insane, bro.
But yeah, you know, it's really the ego that everybody turns into when the money comes in, and when they start getting greedy on each other, or when they go out and what he's saying too, like look at artists he's made that then when he comes back, and this is superstars.
Yeah.
So whether it's the Michaels or whoever else that comes back at a certain point, they're not gonna be the same when that happens, you know.
Oh hell no. I'm looking around the laboratory, right? You got a gazillion plaques. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. They have to be somewhat special to be in this room and not any other plaques. Is there anything special about this? I see Santana. I don't know if they can see it, but I see Santana.
You know what's funny about
Pink,
these are
which is super special, Boys the Men. But these are the only things that are in here, and then that's all you see.
You know what's interesting is all of my plaques in storage.
Okay.
I didn't have any in this house at all. I didn't want to. I got all my awards, Grammys, and stuff at my mom's house around the street, and these just got in here actually over the last 2 months because we had them, and I was like, well, let me try it. Let's try putting some plaques in. Maybe it feels I can.
This seems appropriate because it's a studio, but to me too, I did it maybe one time. I'm not really the plaque person. One thing I be getting freaked out. I'm coming down the hallway and I see Jack Harlow's face like, stop looking at me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Stop looking at me. And then, you know, Uzi's making all these weird ass faces and it's like, bro, turn it around. But I started
looking at them as art pieces, to tell you the truth. Like once I got in storage,
I get that.
Like to see, you know, 14 million in Gwen Stefani's or 30 millions in TLC's or 20 millions in those or 10 in other ones. You're not seeing them shits no more. So I just like, they all in storage, all just sitting there with all the ASCAP awards or BMI awards and all that. I got a whole storage bin. I got 3 storage bins full of shit, and two of them are all keyboards. And then the other storage bin is all masters, DATs,
Now,
studio
yo,
machines.
that's supposed to be in the house. You're supposed to have a safe with the DATs. That can't be in storage.
I tripped out, saw DATs and DAT machines. I'm like, I still got fucking DAT machines and all these songs and stuff. Like, you know, it's weird because when you do see some of the stuff, like when I do go to my mom's house and it's like, oh, 4 or 5 seconds from Wildin'.
Right.
I'm like, that's cool, you know, just like a pill. It don't let me get me. I see the plaques and stuff there. And I'm like, all right, I get that.
She had family come over like, that's my son.
Yeah.
That's my son.
Yeah.
My
Her
mom
house
used
is
to do
full.
That's my son.
You deserve them all. Her house is full of it, you know.
Yeah.
But it does remind you, like, I had to after not having them around for so long period, like for years, I haven't seen a plaque. And then I went and got these out for something we were doing. And I was like, oh, it does give you the reminder of things you might forget.
Yeah, it does.
When it's in your face like that.
And sometimes we dive back and say, what was I doing in that period?
Yeah.
I want to do that again. So I can imagine that.
But I did so many
too.
songs, man. I can't even remember most. Like, it's so crazy when a song comes on or a person after, like, did I do this record?
We was just
yeah,
off
I did
camera
this
just
song.
saying, yo, Boyz II Men was on this?
Yeah, right.
What the fuck?
It's been so many sessions, man. I've been blessed to have sessions since I was 16 years old. So that's been, I mean, almost every day or like just like at least weekly or something. But it was just so many of them. Like it just became eras.
Right.
You know, I had the first era before DARP, when I was doing all that stuff, and then I had the DARP era, and then DARP era went on for a few different eras. Like, yeah, and it's just been like it's the free world. The Rowdy Records downtown, like it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's funny because, and I wanted to tap on that, DARP had an exquisite look. You know what I'm saying? There was like seats on the ground. You know what I'm saying? It was curtains. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It was just a different vibe.
Graffiti everywhere.
Was that a time period? Because you think about Stankonia, right? Stankonia had an organic feel for what they were doing. But I would think if I'm going to your spot, I would hear incense music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would see a couple head wrap, peace, blood.
Yeah.
I go in there, it's like pop. It's like, wait,
yeah.
what's going on? There's curtains and Indian seats. And then, I hear a pop smash in the room. Like, what was that all about?
It was really because I was young when I got it, and I was always rebelling against the system at that point. Because when Ellie and Clyde wanted me to do Rowdy, it was still coming off like Ain't Too Rowdy, like 92,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So I was just getting in the thing of like my flow, and I was stage diving and listening to alternative music and shit. I was skateboarding with these kids, and the last thing I wanted to do was be a damn executive. So it just started hitting me. Everything just came in a wave. Yeah, you need to do this. I'll get you a studio. I'm like, so the next thing you know, like, well, if I'm gonna go to the studio, I'm gonna fill it up with graffiti and beanbags and shit that I'm doing at my age. So like, and I would see everybody else's studio, and it would be like, you know, like the studios, how they looked in LA.
Yeah.
And
vibe, but stiff. It was just real.
stiff.
It was real.
Especially back then. Like you worked at Doppler compared to DART back then, you'd be like, so I just wanted it to be an environment, and I made the studio on purpose where that open room in the middle, you could hear everybody else's stuff because I knew I was gonna have producer signed, and I wanted everybody to sit in that lounge and hear everybody else's stuff playing and walk from room to room and work. So between Tim and Bob and Mario Winans and like Novel and like we had so many years of producers and writers that came out of there. And that was the point of it, you know, is to give people a place to, because back then we didn't have like, you couldn't load up on the internet like that and get your records out. You had to have some connection to get you in some studio or some label to get you somewhere to be in the system.
Facts. Moving in, I see you have Ableton here. You got the Push. I see some Adams. I mean, you got your own baby here. Good keyboards. Excellent keyboards, by the way.
Yeah,
this Phantom is now in modern day a staple with everybody creating music now. What's your go-to?
For like, the Oberheim is my go-to for like the Prince sound.
Okay.
Because that's what the Time and Prince and all them used for that one. And then you got the Karma.
Yep.
And the rolling over here with the Karma is like, that's why the even the Clips drums are in there. The cha-cha, cha-cha, cha, boom, 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 cha-cha. Korg always gonna give you stuff that sounds pretty clean and basic.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And then I have like, you know, I got so many plugins, bro. At one point I was just like, it just drove me insane. I didn't know what I was doing. I think I became a hoarder of plugins.
I did too, bro.
I'm like, how am I ever gonna get all these contacts? I'm never gonna play all of these. It's impossible for me to know what's in here.
32 terabytes worth.
See,
So I just recently bought the new Mac, the Mac M5, and I just did a real start from scratch. Now I'm only having like some mixing plugins. It just was too much. Like
Too
I
much.
was like, when I'm going to ever use this stuff? I had Intact, Contact. I'm like, bro, some of that shit don't even pull up.
Some of it ain't even coming up no more. Some of the
cracked.
keyboards are gone. Like
Some
don't
of the
even do it no
motherfuckers
more.
quit the plug-in game that
And
made
I,
it.
And I started noticing, I said, like all these, like even my drum sounds, like this Mac I got here, there's 8 terabytes on the inside of it. So all my sounds on there on the 8 terabytes, right?
I know the feeling.
But even with that, you're like, damn, there's still a lot of like sounds to go. How many hi-hats gonna be different from the other one? Right?
Wow.
But it's that thing of I just want them all in one play. I'm used to it. Like I got everything in that computer that from my SP1200 drums to like the MPC drums, every era is still in this computer.
Yeah. I found myself in a war and bragging. Like, I got all this. Y'all don't got that. Now it's like, all right, now you got to stop, bro. This is going on 10 years and you telling people you got the most drums.
Which
most
one do you like the best?
MP3s.
What's your favorite plugin?
Let me see. For the most organic feel, I was rocking with Contact for like
Contact is the
Scar
best
beat
for organic.
bass.
Yeah.
I do rock with Lumina now, which is like movie stuff. All the strings was just for that type of music. Then I went into Rolling Cloud. Rolling Cloud had a
is
lot
dope.
of dope shit. I jumped into when Lex Luger and them was killing the game. I was on Purity. I was trying to figure out how to use Purity and effect tricks and all these joints. So
What you use in your DAW?
I'm using Ableton.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You think can you hear the difference like in the sounds? Like I can hear the difference in Fruity Loops, the difference in Ableton, the difference in
I can.
Logic.
The engines are different, but this is the thing. We came from DJing and all kinds of stuff. I mean, if I really wanted to take it there, I'll just EQ before I go in there.
Yeah.
And then I'll just use that as what it is.
Yeah.
Each joint's had different sounds. Like you think Logic colors your sound.
Yeah.
Pro Tools colors your sound. Ableton is really dance, but I'm making dance hip hop. Like I'm taking a dance. Like, of course, I'm going to turn it down some. My gain staging got to be different for hip hop. I got to blast it, you know what I mean? Versus how they are mixing. I'm a fan of the Ableton joint, but I always was the person that if I came here and I didn't have my computer and you was like, I don't have Ableton, I was like, oh, we can't create today. I never wanted to be that person. I wanted to be like, yo, well, pull MPC up. With SP12, what you got? I'm gonna make something on something in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Give me the Triton. I don't care. Pull up the Band Lab. I don't give a fuck. I'm going.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I am too. Because I'm so used to having engineers. Because my last, you come up now. If you learn how to do music and produce, and you learn how to engineer at the same time.
That's 1,000%. 1,000%.
For us, we came up. I would be here, and the engineer would be there. So I was like, all right, give me some strings, give me some this, EQ that for me, do that, do the other. But now, you kind of gotta know both.
Yeah, 1,000%.
I still like somebody else to do the shit. I hate fucking comping vocals and shit. I'm like, I hate to sit there.
That's
and
the
go
worst.
25 vocals.
I hate recording and I got to tell you to punch in.
Yeah.
I'll watch it, but I'm not about to sit there and punch in. I did my time, bro. Playtime's over with that.
For real, yeah.
We're gonna go through some recreations and stuff. Shout out to Plugin Boutique. We got into the plugin game. They pretty much got everything. I go in there. They gave me a code. Thank God, and I can buy everything I want. And I'm sure they're gonna give you a code.
Oh, that's dope.
But these songs right here that we're gonna recreate or just kind of see the magic in it. I don't like to say recreate. Some of these records have been 30 plus years, 26 plus years. You're about to start getting your masters back, correct? From those records, so 35 years.
Now, yeah, that's interesting. But you have to file for them. If you don't, it just kicks over.
Nah, I gotta file for my shit.
File your termination, bro.
Yeah, so I was talking to Teddy, and when I went to his crib, it was a crazy story because he was like, bro, I was getting cheated out of money from his squad so long, and he wound up saying my retribution is 91, 92, 93, 94. Every year, I'm going to get 45 of my masters back, 100 of my masters back. And it's like, damn, you got to file for all them jazz. 100 records you did in 96. You got to file for 100 records in 96. But it's good that he's getting them back. But I just noticed that some of the records that you have.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take from the time I was 16, bro. Like, so starting from Troop and all that stuff, when you look at it, 35 years, and you think of it from back then, you're like, oh, this ain't forever. But when you look up now and you go, damn, well, those already, and even like the records like I Like It, like Sammy, I had 6 sample clearances for I Like It last week.
Wow.
Kurt Cobain's Lotto, like it was just different, you know. And the thing about that's the thing about songs, man. Once you got that song or that copyright these years later, they're gonna find their way to get back up in there somewhere, bro. Like I think all of us, if you're in that era, me, Jermaine, you know, all of us now, we're pushing up on that first 35 years of this stuff coming back to you.
So it's safe to say you ain't selling the masters.
Not this time.
He said not this time. Yeah,
you know, you do pieces of sales. Right? I sold a piece of this,
yeah,
sold a piece of that, but the whole reason that you don't sell a piece of that other one, because some got to loop back around and
1000%.
And so you can start the cycle. But it's, you know, it's all assets, man.
Yeah, 1000%. Songs here, what we got?
So I got the This Time Around song up that I did with Michael Jackson and Biggie.
Okay.
You know, I feel like that was every time I even say something about it, people are like, you did a song with the two of them? I told you how interesting it was because I didn't think Michael was gonna like the Biggie rap because he killed niggas and motherfuckers. I'm killing nigga, I ain't joking. Indo smoke got me token. He's like, no, this is amazing. We're keeping it.
Yeah, they said Mike was plugged into the street, bro. He might not have been a gangster, but he knew how to get to people to keep his ear to the street. So that's probably why he didn't really care if the cuss word was in there because he's like, oh, I'm in the
He
car
wanted
with
it as
this
hard
guy.
as possible because I was like, maybe you want like Trench or you want somebody like Diggable or who you want somebody like, nigga, no, Notorious Big.
I want him to say the raunchiest shit.
I was like, I didn't know how that was gonna fly at first, and then decided, let's just let him hear it.
Right.
And when he started doing this rap, I was like, then Mike was like, amazing. That's it.
I can imagine somebody that big of an artist. You can go in there once they're requesting you to be there. You're being yourself. You're painting. Like you don't have to go in there and be like, oh shit, he might not like this and kick.
They want exactly what they got. They want exactly what you do. That's why you're there,
bro. And that's what I love about it. It's like, oh, bro, we bringing Big out here. He gonna smoke a blunt and write Michael Jackson verse.
Man, I'm sitting in the car smoking weed, and he just pinching himself. Man, I can't believe I'm sitting in the car with you writing a song for Michael Jackson, bro. He's like 19. He's like, you know, that's like that is a far-fetched thing from being, you know, when you really think about him and being in New York and, you know, and just the whole process of like, especially him being at 19 at that point. Now he's sitting in the car like that writing the Michael Jackson record.
Yeah, now that you're saying that's 19, you're right because he passed and he was 26. So I was, damn, he was young.
Yeah, man, he was young.
So with these drums, like, so what were you trying to do? I know you didn't have no pressure because he's like, yo, I want what you got. You still had to make the drums.
I made these. What's funny is I made these at in the same room I did. Remember Darp had A, B, C, and D, and I would stay in the little room a lot of times, the D room on the side.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And
That's crazy.
and let them have the big rooms, and then I had my MPC set up in there, right? It's just like my little cozy setup. Like this is my personal setup without Rick and the engineers, right?
Uh-huh.
And I had my MPC 60 set up in there and just a couple of keyboards and shit, and I would just go in and do my thing. And that's why I did Creep in there. I left it up for days, didn't save it. And then I went in there and did the same thing with this song. I kept going in there playing it every day and going over the drums and listening to like the stuff he had been working on before. Like, damn, now that you really got to do a song for Michael Jackson,
right.
what are you gonna do?
Right.
And add the sticks to it. And by the time you do that, you say, okay, there's the Michael Jackson song or whatever. Again, like you were saying, he wanted you to do what you're there for. Like he wanted it to sound just like the stuff I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and even when you hear This Time Around, these drums, compared to some of his drums, these were still considered muddy.
Yeah.
Right? They were still considered like. And then we started working on, recorded it. Then I ended up doing the They Don't Care About Us and Blood on the Dance Floor, a couple more other things with him. But this was the kickoff song that did it right here.
That's crazy.
See all those sticks? Now, I didn't have those sticks in there. Sticks. No, I didn't have the sticks on there until I went to LA, right? Oh. I just had the beat going, right? And then he was like, let's add some sticks. Can you add some some little knickknacks and sticks to it? You know how artists will be like, man, I want something different.
Yeah.
But then by the time they like, okay, that's cool. Now add this and add that. It ended up being kind of like back into the zone of like where their comfort zone is. But it was crazy on this song too because he, you know, this is the History album. And everything like Scream and this song, This Time Around, everything was really him rebelling against the system.
Yep. Did you feed him that information? Did you tell him like, look, you need to start talking about what you really think about in your
no. It was him, bro. It was him. Like, you know, it's like you know, he used to tell us, like, Dallas, I have relationships with people in the world that the presidents don't have relationships with. I have relationships in their countries that they can't go into.
And that's a fact.
So it's kind of like being the biggest person on the planet for real, you know. And he would after coming off all the drama and all the stuff, this was his way of responding back. And I didn't see the whole picture until the whole thing came out. Like I saw what we were doing, like sending us to the Museum of Tolerance and making us go through and look at the Museum of Tolerance where the Hitler film was and how they was hurting different people in different races and all this. And it was hard. I went through, everybody was crying when we left out of there.
That's crazy. He was setting up the picture for you. He was like, most people go and see things that you haven't seen and can't explain to you what they saw.
That's
so
right.
it was like he was explaining to y'all what he saw and what he knew about to bring y'all up to speed or where his brain was at.
For 100%. And he went to, and if you haven't seen it yet, it's the Museum of Tolerance. It's in LA. It's on Pico. It's a trip, but it takes a lot. But I was wondering, why he sending us in that shit? But then when we got back and started listening to the records and started listening to and looking at, you know, he shot that video, you know, with the statue and the helicopter flying around him, and so he went and got the whole Brazilian army and put him in that video for his album. So he was making a big statement with the music. You know, Tom Stanton is a cold man. So I'm listening to the record. I'm like, are you saying Tom Stanton? Who is that? He goes, oh, that's the DA in LA. You put his name in the record. So every song, you know, which was cool to see, was a journey of his, where he was really at the time, like The Stranger in Moscow, being in that motel room in Russia, hidden in there while everybody's looking for him. The plane is landing everywhere, and he's sitting there writing, the KGB is after me, and like, you know, but that version of a martyr, that version of a person where you got the whole world that you deal with to that degree, was the only way he could really, you know, express himself back. And even that backfired. You know, because as soon as he said, kike me and they don't care about us, they were looking for any ways that they could to kind of start tearing them down. It's like, oh, you're going to shoot the Hitler film. You're going to take the Brazilian army and make the film just like Hitler did. Oh, then you're going to say kike me. And so then they were like, all right, well, let's take these records off the shelf. And they took the history records off the shelf for a while. And then remember, he started riding the double-decker buses with Al Sharpton and everybody. He was kind of like, you know.
If I'm going through it, I think his mind state was, they about to start knighting me and then good nighting me. You know what I'm saying? So he probably was like, man, let me be ahead of the curve, just like Kanye is. He's like, bro, I've been doing good so long, it's bound to be some shit. So let me be offensive first. And I feel like listening to that and hearing you talk about it, Mike was like, this is coming. Yeah. This was blowing under the in the underground before y'all even knew what was going on. So let me get ahead of it before it's like, you know what I mean?
And him broadcasting himself, you know, I remember him just saying, you know, Dallas, I'm gonna broadcast myself from my ranch because I got my satellite and whoever wants to chime in can chime in, but I'm not letting them change my words. He said, if I let them take it, if I go to a regular TV station, they're gonna edit my words and say what they want me to say. So let everybody know, tune in at 9 o'clock. I'm in Neverland. Here's my satellite. I'm broadcasting myself.
That's a cold piece right there.
A worldwide broadcast. Remember, he was like, I've been humiliated. I've been this. Like, he had the red shirt on and the hat. He broadcast that himself. But it just shows you the power of, for one, you know, the power of music is what's crazy. Like, the power of music. I've been seeing you know, we all seen the Michael Jackson movie and seen the power of, like, these kids who's never ever heard of him before. 6-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds dancing, just doing it. I mean, it's like we have some stars. We have the Beyoncés, we got the Rihannas, we got the Taylors, we got all them, but it's nobody gonna come out of that theater 30 years later doing anything that they're doing when they're gone.
That's a
like,
fact, bro.
They might sing a song.
That's a fact.
But that impact that he has that makes them get in that zone, it's like creating more of him. It's like they just like get obsessed. I've never seen nothing like it.
And I think the movie just gave him an extra 30 years to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that movie coming out, it's 10 years of kids that's about to be on TikTok, moonwalking and shit. I'm watching now. It's like they brought the moonwalk back.
Yeah.
Crazy,
it's like, and it's such a phenomenon because they didn't get to see it that way. Now it's even like, it's like everything else. He's, you know, like they said, like even with Marley, when Marley wasn't as big when he passed. It was after, and he got really, really, really huge. You know, But it's all about the music. When you hear this music, like who would make a song today like "Heal the World"? Chris Brown wouldn't, right? So as big as these artists get, it's one layer. That's that layer we was talking about a minute ago, that frequency. So how do I get that frequency and write a song that's going to be up there? So all those records that he did,
Mike did it. I'm thinking about, damn, shoot me. It was the same frequency.
He would take them frequencies, man. And he understood that. And then when he writes you that big ass world song, that's on the same record.
Wow. Now I'm thinking about it. Public Enemy gave you conversation about what's going on through dancing music. 911's a joke. Get up and get down.
911's
it makes
a joke.
sense. He penetrated. I get it, man.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about that. Like Mike Jackson did that as well. Like he knew he had to deliver it in a certain way for people not to turn their back on the conversation.
And let me ask you this: when the last time you seen a new artist, right, as determined as what you've seen somebody like even in the movie that he had the determination, but just his, just being around him, he just always sat like this, always like, oh, what's next? Like, if you find a new artist right now that's 14, 15, 16, 17 that got that right there, they ain't never going nowhere because that determination is crazy.
I haven't seen it, but
I don't know if you can have it about Joe. I think, not to justify any of the things that Joe Jackson was doing, be bad or good, but there's no way they would have been that way without Joe.
I'm thinking about that. It's interesting because it's like, damn, it's not too many Joes in the household.
It's not too many Joes in the household. Not too many kids going to church, so you ain't getting the players no more like you used to. You need Zaytoven and all them, the way they play, you're not getting that right now out of them new kids.
And I'm just like, damn. But there is also no artists that are standing on a property of, I'm going to carry some people with me.
And you ain't got nobody forcing you. Like forcing you at that age, like forcing you gonna get in and do it again at the 8 years old and up like that. It's like, that's how you get a Tiger Woods, because you can't help but to be grateful dad got you at 5 years old in the golf course all night long.
Yeah, Drake did a 20v1 and he still didn't take the Mike Jackson approach. He could have said, hey man, I'm gonna go on a political run with y'all real quick. He didn't do that yet. You know what I'm saying? I think Kanye did. I think he was just, he was a machine gun.
He was a machine gun. He was a bomb, machine
He's
gun
a machine.
bomb.
He's a machine gun. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting because even if you look at the level of, people don't understand when you get to the superstar level, it's like it's a real mind altering place. I never ever wanted to be there. I would see us riding down the street and see it, be in the car behind them and see people attack cars and all. It's a mind state. Whether you're Britney, whether it's Kanye, whether it's hard to keep your mental shit together when you're dealing with people to that capacity. Most people that got big and turned into stars, it turned into a different level in the 90s and stuff because Elvis had a bunch of gold records, right? The reach to people when you went to see concerts, as big as you were, it wasn't that yet. It wasn't until everything really started connecting to like Alanis Morissette and Thriller and all this shit, 30 million records, U2 selling 30 million records, worldwide records started to come in. It wasn't these regional records no more.
Right.
And when the worldwide records started to come in, like, that's when everybody just started blowing way up. That's the international, that's when the Madonnas and everybody started blowing way up. Before those, you would just be promoted to your region, to where you were. It was America, so it was a big deal for you to go to Seattle, to California, to New York, to Florida. That was your world tour.
Facts.
So after the United States.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible, it's a trip for people to be able to sustain themselves. It's hard enough when one person call you out in high school.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. So how do we start this record? You're there. Mike is like, I'm gonna let y'all create. I'm gonna run around with these paint guns and shit. I do all this wild shit. You go ahead and do the drums. I gave you the I gave you that. Where do you go from there?
He bought in all the goods. And then we started so when we started it.
So it wasn't Burt Bacharach. Oh, we start with the song first.
Didn't start with the song first. This is one of those joints. I sent him the track, right? And then he was like, yeah, come to LA. So when I got to LA, that's when we added the sticks and stuff to it.
Right.
But it was, and then we added that. And then what's crazy is, by the time we got to this point, That's when Michael started doing the "This time around."
Oh, he was ready.
He was in there like, oh, play that, go ahead again. Go ahead again. Wait, I'm gonna go in the booth. This and he went in the booth and started doing the pieces of the song before it was before I added the strings and everything else to it. He was already in there just like doing the song. And writing it and kind of like, cause he knew what he wanted to, he knew what he was saying. All right, somebody's out to get me. They really trying to get me. Everybody's trying to get him on this record.
Everybody.
So he had, he knew his theme of where he was headed. And like I was saying before, I didn't realize it until I saw the video come out. Like, oh, he's flying around the hell. He's a big silver statue. He got the military. He's going at everybody with these. Yeah. I remember I walked in first and they, because I had this going, but then I walked in and heard a scream and I was just like, damn, I should just leave. What am I even doing here?
I would have said the same thing. Scream, I'd have been like, oh my God.
And then, this is what I can find this. And so you can hear him in the studio, right? You can hear it because he was always like, he never stopped moving. He never stopped snapping and beatboxing and stuff in there. So all the stuff you picking up is just his like.
Listen, I got problems.
And then you got this guy.
Listen, I got problems of my own. Flashing cameras, taps on my phone. Even in my home, I ain't safe as I should be. Things always missing. Maybe it could be my friends. They ain't friends if they robbing me. Stopping me from making a profit. See, apology, shallow like the ocean. I guess I resort the gun token. If I was dead, broken, smoking, I'd probably be by my lonesome. I'ma kill a nigga, I ain't joking. Then don't smoke, got me choking. I'm hoping the fool come slipping so I could blow him open. This time around, I changed up my flow. Got rid of the rocks, got picks by the dough. A real set of peoples to watch my back. Stay away from strangers so I won't slack. And I know my nigga might like that.
Baby. I was like, damn, you said I know my nigga might like that.
He was like, yeah, get that shit.
That's amazing.
That's tough.
That's one of the most unique sessions songs I think, a combination of people I've ever worked with to put, to have Big and Michael on one song. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that thing that never really happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know how big of a Prince fan you are. Why didn't you get Prince and Mike in there? This is a trick question.
After your butt is mine thing from Bad, he was like, I'm not fucking with that. He's supposed to sing Bad.
Right.
It's supposed to be a duet.
Right.
So I'm not singing your butt is mine.
But I was like, you had to have slid that in like, yo, you know what I think we should do? We should go. He was like, yo, kick the fuck out of here. Don't get kicked out.
You see what Michael said? I got to be out here, accept all the good ideas. A guy gonna give him the Prince.
That's so crazy, bro. So you did this record and then was it like, let's make another one? Or it was like, this is the one?
It was like, after I did that one, then he started handing me other songs like, hey, we worked on this song called Blood on the Dance Floor. That's for this one. Hey, got a song called They Don't Care About Us. Let's work on this one.
Damn.
Legacy people and legendary people that's been quoted for a long time, everything's different. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like if you went in with artists to say they're huge now. So they got huge and really huge off of their last record, and now they got another record coming, but they say it's their second or third album or whatever, right? That's a different story than somebody who's done it. They're everything about them. Even working with Madonna, she's like, just hurry up so I can go be Madonna. All right, let's get this record done because I gotta go be Madonna. It's like, hey, I'm not overthinking this shit.
That's
you are
hilarious. Let me go be Madonna. I want to shop and go outside.
I can go do my thing. So let's do this. But artists, bigger artists, when you work with them like that, they have a different scope on why they're using the music.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. With Mike. This is crazy to think. When you're doing so great and you make an album like Thriller with Quincy Jones, how do you know when a person gets it or has it versus, because I've been in studios with Pharrell before and we've been working with artists and he'll pull me aside and be like, I don't think this guy has it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What do you think of Michael Jackson after working with Quincy and having so much success says like Dallas Austin gets it? What song did he hear? What did he say? Yo, you know what? I heard this that made me think that you think like I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The thing about big artists that makes them sustainable most of the time is once they learn, like I said, she's like, let me go be Madonna. Like, she wants the best of whatever's going on. So whoever's hot at the time, whoever's doing what, like she knows how to take that and put it to her combination. Same thing with Michael. When Michael called Teddy, he knew what he was doing. He was like, okay, if I put that with what I'm doing, I know what that's gonna sound like, you know. So the bigger stars, they don't want to get in their own way. They want the best of the best. Like I've been with artists before where I say, man, you're huge. Don't go diving in trying to do your shit now. If you didn't do it at the beginning, don't do it now. Like, stay with the best of your shit. And I've seen plenty of artists think that now that I made it, okay, now I'm gonna go write my shit or I'm gonna go do my shit. And then it just goes like this because the thing they don't understand is like, it ain't just the song you just sung and wrote. It's a special song you sung and wrote. It was something different that you can't probably song it right or you would have did it then.
Right.
So I don't see them like take themselves down. People like Madonna and Michael and all them, they want the best of who's popping.
Nah, I get it. When Mike calls you, you say, I'm the fucking best. Mike Jackson called me. But then when Prince calls you, do you, because you're a Prince fan, this is a trick question. Do you say, I'm really the fucking man? Prince called me.
Well, because the conversations are different, it makes me feel like you know,
Prince is like,
Prince was like,
hello, Dallas, how are you?
Yeah, I know. Tell them they need to keep their masters. Tell them they need to do that. He was so like that guy. So our conversations were way different because he would call on that independent tip all the time. Like he was, you know, he was very into the independence of stuff. Yeah. And I used to be like, man, you know, you just don't want them to beat you with your own catalog. Because that's what ends up happening. Like when legacy artists like that go and they, you know, when he first changed his name to the symbol, and he was going against Warner Brothers, and he was trying to get me to convince Lenny that he should do the same thing, which is, Lenny, you want to be independent, you want to do this, you want to be on your own, and I was like, not him. Lenny like private planes and Tiffany lamps. He like the rock star shit. You don't want to be sitting there trying to convince these people to play his record at the radio. He wants somebody else to do that.
Right.
But Prince had gotten so into that thing, you know, that was kind of harming him into one.
It's almost they both did it at the same time. Like they probably saw something like Prince was like, oh yeah, jipping me. And then Mike was like, they after me.
Yep.
So it's like they both.
And Lenny had all his masters the whole time. Because he didn't need the money from the label. So like
Why? Because he family.
His mom, they had him already taken care of. Gotcha. So he had some of the smartest business. That's why he's loaded as fuck. He ain't playing. You see Lenny, he got islands and shit. He got more than one island.
I've seen some shit, Architectural
Paris,
Digest. He had some shit. I'm like, what is this barn house / farm with 60 palm trees?
I was at his house in Paris, and I've known him all these years. And he's like, man, I've been trying to get you to come to this house 20 years. I said, this the one you've been trying to get me to come? He gets 20 years. Damn, who are you? This is an embassy. It's not a house.
Yeah, so they both did that at one time. TLC, is this something else you wanted to show us, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what's interesting is, again, that horn sound was the last thing I put in the song because I had the song sitting up for 3 days, and I just kept going in there, hitting it, singing the song. Oh, this sounds too country. I'm not going to record this. And then finally, I was like, maybe I'll record it, but I couldn't find a cymbal crash. All I could find was a damn 808 cymbal crash. Like, that ain't working. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to just drop this horn in here and do the Pete Rock. Because when Pete Rock just put the horn on every one.
Guess who's back?
Right. And then it became, I didn't think of it as a staple of the song or the signature of the song. When I did it, I was just like, oh, it's just a horn hit like Pete Rock and them would do. But then Clive is who pointed it out for me one day. He's like, man, I think LA wanted to change the single or something because he had shot a couple of videos. He didn't think it was working. And then Clive called and said, no, you're going to get a Grammy for that record. That record is going to be huge. LA is totally wrong. And he called it and said, did that Miles Davis horn sound? I said, the Miles Davis horn sound. Like, what is he talking about? And then I was like, oh, and I heard it. I thought about it because I heard it. The record was playing low somewhere one day, and all you heard was, and I was like, there it is. But Clive, in all fairness to him, he took what I thought was just a Pete Rock horn sound. He was like, that's going to be the signature of the song.
We talked about frequency. That doesn't have the same that's hip hop to me.
That's hip hop. It's muddy.
But
the hook was
so
popular,
bro.
It was the hook that I thought was too country because like, Yeah, just keep it on the down low.
Yo, now that I'm thinking about it, this country is
Keep it on the down low.
That's fucking hilarious.
I was going there, I was singing that shit the whole song, like, fuck, that shit sounds too country.
But
why,
how was you hearing country with that though?
Because he doesn't know what I do. And country wasn't cool then. It wasn't cool country back then. And like, it was just like, damn. But it kept aggravating me. I would go in the room every day, I would sing the whole song, 22nd of loneliness. And then I would like sing the hook, and I'm like, damn, this song just sounds too country. And then one day I was like, you know what, let me get Deborah to sing it down for me, and maybe it won't sound as country. And then when she sung it, I was like, okay, it doesn't sound as country now.
It feels better. That's insane. I never thought about that till you told me. I'm like,
let's keep it on the down low.
Yo, that's crazy. And that shit did numbers. I mean, I was in Philly. I think I was 13, 14. I had bought 4 of them.
Man, you know what? You don't know when a record is going to be the only one to sound that way until later. Like now, when I hear it back, you can say it's just like, damn, that's the only record to sound like that. That is made up of all those same elements. And that's what was cool about the girls is you can take look, I always say the production is a vehicle for your song to ride in.
1000%.
So try to make the best one you can, and then try to fuck that vehicle up some so it can be cool. But you still need a great song that to be on top of it. And that's what I've noticed. A lot of us, when we get to be as writers, you go through, you're like, I don't know, it's like these things you go through that you're not being your best writer. You're being like, okay. But it's kind of like, okay, I'm being okay because everything's okay.
Yeah.
Like when you sit, right, and the difference in when you write a song for real, that's like one of those records, you're like, okay, I actually do this a lot easier. And the song is a way better song. There's some things about not being cool sometimes that you don't want to be like a part of.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to be cool no more. I'm cool.
Yeah, fuck it. I want to be corny. Give me corny.
When I started doing stuff like Duran Duran or like some of the like real Korn and some of the rock bands, some of the pop stuff I was doing, and started getting out of Atlanta is when because I was so Atlanta, bro. I was just like,
yeah,
I don't want to have nothing to do with nothing.
I was going to talk about that because most of us that come to Atlanta, by the time we get to a pop status, we jet to LA.
Jet to LA.
And move there and live there. You, for some reason, have kept the home.
Yeah, man.
Here. You didn't say, yo,
I'm
living in Paris now, bro. I'm never going back.
Yeah, I went to LA for a minute because I was working at Def Jam. At Island, but then I just couldn't LA. Even I was working a lot of stuff, but everybody's working a lot of stuff out there, right? But you never get the grip the same way, and like it's almost like you're being too close inside the institution out there, so that you start getting into this rotation of how they function and how they work, and them putting you in a room with 10 people, and them bringing people by to hear songs that's not finished, and all that whole little do the spiel, and they're the greatest song they ever heard today. Then tomorrow, you don't know no more. Like in Atlanta, it's like when you get here, everything becomes way more special because it's like not a part of that ecosystem, and if something stands out here, you don't make the same records out there that you make here.
No.
It's just a...
There's something about the air, man. There's something about the ocean air that makes you make different records.
It is. I want to sound like Katy Perry when I'm out there.
you instantly turn into that person. Yeah, it's Katy Perry time versus here. It's like, one thing I hate, I lived there 18 months. One thing I hate about it was like when I was working, it was good. But when it was no working time, it was like, where's everybody? Right? You know what I'm saying? The culture didn't feel like nothing.
It's a very lonely place.
Bro, it's so eerie because you're like, bro,
yeah.
Atlanta just hugs you. Like it's like, nigga, I don't have to go to the club. It's just like, okay, I'm here. I'm here. Like something about
it's the trees.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the food that make you fat. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you feel like as soon as I get off the plane here and I get to my house here, I'm like, okay, now I can be creative. It's like a mad scientist thing.
It's like you leave and you get energized. And you're like, man, I can't wait till I get home. As soon as that flight gets to landing right here at Hartsfield, it's like, oh, I'm ready. You hit the ground running.
The creativity is such a free, you don't know what you're gonna come up with. You don't know, it's not like bound by, in LA you do feel like, okay, let me come up with something I think they're gonna like.
Right.
Whereas
it feels I'm going there to work.
Yeah.
Versus I'm creating.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You wouldn't have got records like Crazy. You wouldn't have got records like that out of LA. the bombs over Baghdad. They're like all even like just even what Tip did would let them know now. They just not that wouldn't have came out of LA like that.
Nah. No disrespect to LA. I love y'all.
Love LA.
I know, but I'm just talking about from our standpoint.
From writing
This is where
standpoint.
we are, and we speak our mind.
Yep.
Before we get out of here, Plugin Boutique, plugins. We have to talk about some type of plugin. You asked me what my favorites were. I see right here you got Cradle, Systematic, but Plugin has a bunch of all of these plugins. You know what I mean? One thing I needed for Lil Jon session, and shout out to Lil Jon, we were supposed to do our first episode, and his son wound up passing away.
Yeah, it was horrible.
And it hurt us. It hurt everybody.
It hurt me too.
We were stunned.
It's horrible.
And it was so eerie because it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were getting ready to, I think, stream at like 7 or 8. And it was like, he called me like, bro, I hate to do this to you, but I don't even know. And it was bad. And at that point, you don't know what to say to a person, especially when you're close with them. It's like, bro, you know how I'm rocking. Do whatever you got to do.
Do whatever you got to do, man.
And this shit can wait. But one of the things I wanted to do was he worked religiously on a Triton. He worked religiously on these things, and Plugin Boutique had them, and they was like, yo, y'all should pull those up on the camera and show us how you can use it. Because we couldn't find one in LA. It was just being too much. It was a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? What are some of your favorite plugins?
Silent, the Nexus was some of my favorite ones. Me being a keyboard fanatic, I started getting all these plugins, and then like the Skies and all these Sky Keys.
Fire. Yep. Did you get that off of an ad, or you heard about it? Because I know a lot of people popped up on your phone as an ad.
I probably got I got the ASR, I got the like MPC still, I got the Mellotrons and all that, the things that's vintage stuff, but my Contact is so loaded.
Bro, my Contact is loaded. I wish it wasn't that loaded. Like I said, 32 terabytes is crazy.
It takes up so much space, but then when you really want something, and then you find yourself really, man, for me, once you still in sound design at some capacity, depending on how they tweak it and how you start to make your own sounds out of it.
1000%.
But I've always liked I'm a big fan of Junos and the Jupiters and the.
Yep, me too.
And I'm a big fan of the Moogs. I remember when they first started putting the Moog synths in, you were like, man, I don't know if this is gonna sound the same as the other ones, but I think they're better at them now. A lot of the Oberheim stuff is good too.
Yeah, it's getting very close what they're doing with the machines. It's still digital. We could tell because we worked so many years in analog, so we could tell, but the kids can't tell.
They can't tell.
They don't know what's going on. They just know it sounds good.
I was working with Duran, and every time Nick Rhodes, because Nick has a warehouse full of keyboards, so every time he would come in, he would ship the keyboards into the sessions. And then, but because in the warehouses, as soon as you put them in the thing, they're gonna fall out of tune.
Yep.
Right? So so every day he'll leave, and we'll replace them with the moves, the digital ones, right? And he'll walk in every time. Dallas, did you switch the keyboards?
Damn, how did he know?
He's like, don't use digital.
Frequency.
Like, okay, well, it was falling out of tune. He's like, well, that's what they're supposed to do. So I'm like, okay.
Man, I would have cheated. I would have put it through a tape machine real quick.
I had to still tune it some kind of way. Like, you get tuning, man. I got to tune.
Damn, that's crazy. So I see Isotope. I see G-Force, Fat Filter, of course, Deadly. But yeah, man, I think that they do a good job. I teamed up with them because they do a good job. This is not paid sponsorship.
It is dope.
A lot of times I know I'm cheating a little bit trying to get away from so many plugins and just use one keyboard. Because my style now is I want to create people's albums, but I want to create them with each keyboard. So if I'm saying, yo, I'm going to do Kendrick, I'm going to do everything with that. And that's all you're going to get. Then I move to Drake, I'm going to do everything on the AX7.
Yep.
And then I move there, I'm going to do, and that's what I want to be in a space where I'm like, that person got their keyboard, I can't give you that sound.
Yeah.
We got to create something like that with another keyboard.
Yep.
So that's why I'm trying to just have my 5 good ones and take 5 artists and make their 12-song album with those keyboards. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it was kind of situated. Because if you listen to like the Prince at the time, you're gonna hear all the Oberheim.
See what I'm saying? And that's studying them to get you there.
Star, you're gonna hear the Moogs.
Yep.
Zapp and Roger, you're gonna hear the Prophets.
It's the subgenres. Like we miss subgenres here. You know, trap is not a subgenre no more.
No.
That shit is the genre.
It's a genre. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the subgenres, like, bro, when I was talking to Teddy, he was talking about, you know, the New Jack and, you know, G-Funk era, Warren G. I mean, you had your sound. So it was like, bro, we need sounds. We don't have sounds no more. You can't even have a Neptune sound because they're gonna bite it and be like, what's wrong with biting it? That's cool. It's all good. Like, as long as he said it's cool.
Yeah.
And it forces us to be like, yeah, go ahead and rock it out.
Go ahead and rock it.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
It forces us to be like that. And it's like, we have to get back into a gatekeeping mode with some of these sounds. So
I agree.
we get, you know, pieces of subgenres. You know, Timberland did it, bro. He made a sound out of Indian samples and shit. He rocked the shit out of
shit out of that for a while long. He was like, anything that was different, he was gonna take it.
Bro, these motherfuckers rocked it. And then, you know, like I said, Neptunes came. So each one of you guys had a sound, and I feel like we're not captivating it now. And I think that's what's gonna make some of these artists bigger. Or else they're just gonna go in and get a bunch of beats. I think a lot of the artists, we were talking about earlier, a lot of artists turned into Kobe Bryant, which Kobe Bryant shot 2,000 jump shots a day. You know what I'm saying? He just shot him. He knew a spot here, he knew a spot there, he knew a spot there. And that's where he stayed. He never was like, yo, I'm gonna start shooting some threes. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start shooting some, you know, he knew his spots where he's like, this is absolutely gonna go in.
Yeah.
So I feel like some of those artists are like that, and they champion. You hear some of these making the same album, same songs. We need to figure out how to say, yo, this is something new. You're shooting a sideline three. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that normal.
I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
It's so exciting when you hear something new off the bat and you're just like, oh,
Man.
I need that feeling.
man. But I appreciate you coming out, man. This is always a pleasure. This is,
always,
you know,
brother.
We have this same conversation all the time when we see each other. Shout out to Plug In Boutique.
Yep.
It's BackTrak, Don Cannon, Dallas, Austin. Not Dallas, Texas.
Dallas
Dallas Martin, Dallas, Austin.
That's right.